What is going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. Palace 3, Wolves 2. Sounds closer than it should have been, but in the second half, Palace come good. And I'm happy going into the international break. 7 points from 4 games. Massive win at home, 1 game at a time. That's my mentality. Game at a time. And so far, all good. But as always, we want you involved. So make sure to call into the show by clicking on the pinned comment in the comment section down below. And let's smash the likes as well, people. If Palace can get a win going into this international break, let's try to see if we can hit a minimum of 150 likes. We'll be reading your comments throughout the show as well. Patrick, Palace 3, Wolves 2. I'll be honest, it sounds closer than it should have been. First half, I'll be honest, it wasn't good enough. First half wasn't good enough. In the second half, after the subs, arguably, Palace showed what they can do. What did it make of the game?
I thought the first half was very poor. I'm struggling to understand why we keep playing the same lineup for the first 4 matches. Why we can't change it up. Anderson was very good in the first half. So Anderson was actually the best player in the first half by a mile. Should have had a goal when Lerman made a great play, and Ayew definitely should have scored. Ayew had a poor game today. It was going to happen eventually. He's been playing well all season. And the second half, and listen, man, the sub changed the game. Credit again to the manager. Great sub. Mateta came on, played really well, linked up with Eddie. Edouard again, gave him the right spots. He'll score goals. I'm really happy for both of them, doing really well. It kind of makes a mockery of people playing about the strikers, but it's only 1 game, or actually 2 games now, or whatever, 5 games now. They both contributed pretty well. And, we got the win. It's important. I mean, I don't think Wolves are very good. I mean, that they were better than us in the first half, but I don't think they're a very good team. I think they're going to struggle this year. But I'm happy that we've got the points and we move on.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. And Andrew says hopefully this will quieten the noise within the fan base, especially after deadline day. There was a lot of talks about transfers and all of that. Andy's saying, Andrew said that, and Andy's saying Schlapp off and we're a different team. And look, we're going to talk about Jeffrey Schlapp. We're going to talk about the subs because I think the subs made an impact to the game. But what do you think it was in the first half, Patrick? Because look, how I see the game is that in the first half, it wasn't the normal Palace in terms of even Jordan Ayew, who's been having, fantastic start to the season. He seemed a bit off. You can make the argument Lerma, Decore at times were a bit sloppy. The passes just weren't good enough in the first half. Yeah. And in the second half, I'll be honest, the way we started the second half, it wasn't great either. I didn't really see any changes from the first half to the second half until we made them subs. But them subs came massive. And, as you said, Patrick, you have to give credit to Roy because since the start of the season, whenever he has made them subs, it has worked out. Brentford in the previous game, players come off, Schlapp and Edouard come off, and then the game flips. And we managed, was it Schlapp and Edouard? No, Schlapp and Edouard, right? In the Brentford game, I think he came off. But look, he made the subs in the Brentford game. The game flipped like that. And in this game, same thing once again. It wasn't working. He made the substitutions and the game changed. Look, it says 3-2 in the scoreline, but it didn't feel like a 3-2. It should have been at least a 3-1 Palace. I agree with you. Wolves are not a great side, but you can only beat what's in front of you. Going into this game, if we do want to have a good season so far, which we are doing, we have to be winning these games. We've done our job today, game at a time. We focus on the next game. We have this international break. And, hopefully by then we might be closer to at least it coming back into the lineup, which improves our depth. We'll see what France are. But look, overall, going into international break, very happy with the subs. Great result. 3 goals at home. Could have done a bit better with the defending on 1 or 2 goals. Yes. But overall, when your strikers are scoring and getting assists, then that's fantastic. And I think that's the main talking point right now, isn't it? With our strikers, Mateta came on and he was fantastic, Patrick. Scored a hat-trick last game. In this game as well, 2 assists. The second assist for, the first assist for Eze, fantastic. Second one, even better because it was link up play with Edouard. What do you think it is then? Because, look, the main discussion point is Schlapp coming off and the game changing. Why did we be so slow with Schlapp on the pitch? Why was it just the case of Mateta coming on? Was it more energy? Did you notice anything significantly different?
Well, one thing, you keep saying subs. It was only 1 sub. It's just a Mateta sub, right? Am I missing something?
Yeah. Well, Hughes came on as well, but yeah.
Yeah, but you used to keep saying Hughes didn't do anything in the game. Hughes came at 89th minute. But the key sub, credit again to Roy, was the Mateta sub. I don't know. I think it's formation. I don't think it's the players. Yes, today IU and Schlupp were poor, which is a shame because I've been playing really well up to this point. Schlupp does something. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is, but he does something on the pitch, either clog the space or whatever. Doesn't create space out wide, doesn't get crosses in, but he does something because he keeps starting. But I think it's a formation. I don't think it's individual players. So I think the formation changed. Now, obviously, when you're being on Mateta, you're going more to like either a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. I think today was definitely a 4-4-2, right? Because you had Eze in the midfield, and then you have Mateta and Edward front. I'm not saying you start that way, by the way. I don't think it's a good idea to start a 4-4-2. It's a little bit more aggressive, but I just don't think you start Schlupp. Start Raksaki or start Mateta, but Edward wide. I don't know what it is, but you can't keep starting Schlupp and then having us either fall behind or play poorly first half. Listen, it's worked so far because 2 of the matches he bought on a sub, Brentford and now today, and it's worked. But I don't think he keep doing that. But again, I just know he's not going to change the lineup unless either someone's injured and or France or at least they come back fit, which is frustrating to me because I said I'd like to see something different. But again, credit to him again. He made the sub made a difference. Mateta again. People have made these comments about Mateta for ages. I'm not saying he's Thierry Henry because he's not, but he's getting the job done. He's gotten the job done this season. What is that? 3 goals and 2 assists, and he hasn't started a game this season yet, has he? I don't think he hasn't started a game all season. Man got 3 goals and 2 assists. I mean, you got to give credit. But again, Eze was very good second half, much better. Link up play, great goal by him. Edward again. Stan put in the comments in our WhatsApp chat about service. I just think that it's a confidence issue. I said that before. I think Edward's confidence level has been boosted by the manager. He's playing more games. He's getting great cross. That's the third cross he scored from the season. 2 by Mitchell, 1 by Ayew. So get him crosses. Let's be honest, we weren't crossing the ball before for Edward, but now we are. So listen, credit to Edward, credit to Eze, credit to Mateta, credit to the team for getting the win. It was important to get the win today. So, but again, 4-4-2 to me does not work beginning to make game, but something had to change as far as how we start the game.
Yeah, so quickly an update on the link. I think the link wasn't working, but it should be working now. So if you want to call into the show, you can click on the pinned comment in the comment section down below. Thank you for the super chat from Sergeant Bash. He says, man like Odson, fantastic. 2 goals. And I'll be honest, Patrick, with the Odson Edward goals, I think the first one was fantastic. The movement. Sometimes we always talk about finishing, but at times service may be there, but the strikers need to be in the right place at the right time. And for the first one, it was great movement. And I'll be honest, we talked about the first half not being that great, but even in the first half, when he did have the ball a few times, his link-up play was on point. It kind of reminds me of his previous games. He's still offering something apart from goals. Today, look, 2 goals. You can't, even if we didn't do nothing else and score 2 goals, I think everyone will be happy with that. But it's the fact that he's getting his confidence boost. Do you think it's come down to that? We've seen the likes of Eze get under Roy. Is it now Odson getting his boost by having the run of games, or do you think you want to see a bit more from him before you get comfortable with him being our number 1 option up front?
No, he's the number 1 option up front for sure, but he could use an assist, like people have been saying before. A lot of people mentioned. I think even T mentioned it. He played in the 2 at Celtic. He plays better in a 2. So I think every time he scored of late, it's been part of a 2. I mean, the goal he scored against Plymouth with the great cross by Ayew at the back post. Mateta's on the pitch with him. Today, he scored that first goal was a great cross by Mitchell. Again, getting under the post. I don't know, maybe he plays better in a 2, but yeah, definitely one thing is run of games. I agree. I told you before, confidence definitely helps him. He's definitely going to be much confident. You can see on the pitch, his movement is better, hold up plays better, link up plays better. But again, I don't think we ever had listen, you and I have a discussion back and forth between Mateta and Edward. I've never killed Edward. I've always said that I just didn't like the negativity towards Mateta. Edward is clearly a better striker. He played in a better league. He played in Europa League, no doubt about it. But people, downplay Mateta because he's not as orthodox as Edward. But Edward had the ability. I told you to score. I think I said he can get 15 goals this season with the service. And I think right now Mitchell today, great cross. I've been putting great balls into him. So credit to him. Listen, all credit to both of them. I don't see any reason why this season Edward can't get 15 goals this year. There's no reason, honestly, especially when Lisa comes back.
Yeah. Look, there's a few guests behind the scenes. Let's bring them on as always. Send in your comments. And also, if you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button, people, as well. And join us by clicking on the pinned comment. Let's bring on our first guest of the afternoon. Alex, what a win. 3-2 win. Uh,
Yeah.
what did you make of it all? Look, first half we talked about it. It
Can
was a
I?
bit slow. By the second
Can
half,
we just stop watching the first half? Would that be something we could start doing? I would love to just get right to the second half. That was, again, like, what do we do in the first half? What are we doing? Is how I feel.
What do you think it is then in the first half compared to the
So
second half?
every single time we've had to tactically change at halftime or close afterwards, and most of it is centered on Jeffrey Schlupp, I think. And I just I don't get it. I actually put in the chat, I would rather have Hughes at left wing. He's a good crosser. He knows what he's doing in possession. He has good link up play with Tyreek Mitchell. I'd rather have him there, honestly, in a 4-2-3-1. Maybe not. I see Patrick shaking his head, but
No, we have better options than Hughes. We have a
I know, but
better options than Hughes at wide.
He's the second worst option, and Schlupp is the worst option. That's all I'm saying.
Good point. Yeah.
But let's talk about the good things. Mateta, Edward, both of them. Combination, especially for awesome. Edward's second goal. Mateta assist for Eze as well. Look, is it a case of having to play both of them together? Is that how we get the best out of them? Because they haven't really played together. And today, when they did come on in the second half, yes, it was only a half of football, but it looked absolutely fantastic. Like, this was a Palace side that was struggling to attack. They came on, we scored 3 goals.
Yeah, it made me think, like, do you guys remember the Liverpool game a few years ago where Mateta comes in and we're playing like crap that game, and then in the second half we just like kind of light them up, and then they had that stupid penalty on the Jota got or whatever. Like, to me, I've always thought that they play well together. Like, if you have 2 target people up front, that's the best way that a 4-4-2 works, and they link up decent enough when they're spread out and when you have 2 channels is what I think. You know, if they're already not in the center of the field and one's down one channel, the other's down another, I think it works well.
Yeah.
What is it? 11 goals versus 3 against now?
Yeah.
Something like that with both of them on?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I'm not 100% too sure on the stats. But look, Edwards had a good start to the season. Teta arguably hasn't played that many games, but he's got 4 goals in 2 games. So he's had a solid start to the season as well. So hopefully they complement each other's games well. And maybe this game might be the reason why Roy changes it up in terms of Schlupp drops to the bench, even if Elise isn't fit. And we change up, maybe having both to play off each other.
Do that. Please do that. I've been defending Jeffrey Schlupp, and today was a 1 out of 10 performance for me. You just can't have that.
Yeah,
it really pissed me off. Sorry.
Yeah, then we said 3 goals without assisting. Elise Schlupp looks unfit and bit concerned about conceding from 2 crosses, but good start to the season. Yeah, the goals that were conceded, what do you make of it? Because of course we're talking about the win. For me, it should have been at least 3-1. The 3-2 just doesn't feel right because it makes it look like it was closer than it should have been. Could we have done a bit better? What do you make of the 2 crosses into the box?
Yeah, so the second one's an easier one to talk about just because there was 2 people there. And the way that it was spaced out, Joe didn't get close enough to one of the people such that Mark had to, mark 2 people, pun intended, and it just didn't work. So that's what ended up happening on that one. The first one, it looked to me like Schlupp was literally marking nobody at the very end of the line, and I just don't understand it. It seemed like he was the closest to.
It was actually him and Lerma. It was him and Lerma that missed that.
Lerma, okay, Lerma as well. Yeah, and outside of like a few things that Lerma did at the beginning of the game, I didn't think he did much today either. I thought it was kind of a tough day for the midfield. I thought Decore had some good challenges today, but his passing was pretty poor. So yeah.
Look, going into the international break now. 7 points in 4 games. Apart from Arsenal, I can't really complain. Even Arsenal, I wasn't really complaining. But if you got
some of those
finishes
today were awesome.
10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10 start to the season.
Yeah.
what have you been most impressed by, and are you like more relaxed to how you was maybe at the start of the season till now after what you've seen in these first 4 games?
Okay. So I got to admit that on Twitter I changed my name to Palace Hates Scoring Goals for a few hours after the end of the window closed, just because that's kind of how I feel, is that we had a chance to become a pretty good offensive squad with about 1-2 additions, and instead we decided to keep it as is and kind of just like skate on by because of our defense, because we have a good defense. And honestly, like, what is that, the first like open play goal that the Brentford goal, sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, the Sade was just definitely open play, but I think we play well on open play. We rarely get caught up in positions. A lot of that's the center backs, but I think Tyreek Mitchell gets roasted, and that's never ever been his issue. So I think our defense is great, and I enjoy watching our defense, but can we just get to the second halves, please?
Exactly. Just start the game as we do in the second half. But look, thank you so much, Alex, for calling into the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll catch up with you again after the international break.
Thank you.
Yeah, take it easy. Have a good break.
Take care, Alex.
Yep.
Take care.
See you later. If you want to call into the show, make sure to click on the pinned comment. And if you're enjoying the stream, subscribe and hit the like button as well. Let's bring on the next guest of the afternoon. Looney, how you doing, bro?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Yeah, good. Look, a win. You can't really complain with wins. I've been happy with the start of the season so far. What have you made of it all, especially today?
Yeah, I think it was good. I mean, it was a bit of a typical Royal start, very sort of cautious. We were playing cautious football, I think, again in the first half. But then again, I don't think I expected anything else, to be honest. Second half, much better. But yeah, it's just going to be the same conversation every week, so I don't want to keep banging on about it. But I'm really not sure, as a professional football coach and manager, what Roy sees in Jeffrey Schlupp. I still can't figure out why he starts him every week. I really don't know. Unless someone can tell me, I don't know what he offers. Like, I really...
Are you still there? Yeah, I think you can't. But yeah, I Patrick, do you know what he offers? Because I asked the same question as well. At half time, I was like, what does Jeffrey Schlupp offer that I am missing? Because I'm not even taking a piss. Like, I genuinely don't know what he offers on the pitch. Patrick, what do you think?
I honestly, I can't wait to come to the games in December. If he's still playing, I want to watch him. I want to player watch him, because you can't do it on TV. I'm being serious, because I'm trying to figure out the same thing. Yeah. No, I was going to ask you if you did, because, well, it's not fair to see. Somebody in the comment, it's not fair to put all on Schlupp as far as like. I mean, I did watch that. He had 21 touches in the first half. He had 7 in the second half. So clearly, he wasn't involved in the game at all. But I got to feel that he offers something defensively. Like, maybe he clogs up the length. Remember, there are passing lanes in the middle. Someone has to clog up. So maybe he does that. You know, I'm not going to come on and say a professional player does not offer anything. That's a bit unfair. But what I will say is I'm going to watch the game again later on. I'm going to actually try and figure out, because he doesn't offer a lot, but he has to offer something, because Roy's not stupid, and neither the coaches are. He wouldn't play if he offers nothing. I mean, we can always, we always have this thing where we pick on a player. What do they call, Nick calls it? We scapegoat a player, and clearly Schlupp is our scapegoat, but he has to offer something. We're not seeing it as a fan base. He did not play well today. I just told you the touches was weird. He had like a 71% passing. He did have 2 shots though. So he's evolved going forward. So I'm not going to say it's on Schlupp. But I said at the beginning, I'd rather have someone else start over him, whether it's Ahamada, whether it's Mateta, whether it's Raksaki. I want to have somebody start over him. It'll clearly be Olisa when Olisa's back. But I'm not going to say he offers nothing. He doesn't offer enough for me right now to warrant him starting every match so far this season.
Yeah. Also, I was going to ask, look, that's Schlupp talk out of the way. Let's talk about the positives. Because when he came off, Mateta, Edward combination there, Eze on the score sheet, it just flowed. Looney. It was great seeing them. It's great seeing Mateta having 2 assists, Edward having 2 goals. That's what we expect, right, from our strikers. And today they delivered.
Yeah, that's what I like to call the French connection. We saw that first against Liverpool last season. I remember we was talking about it. and it was a very good game. Even though we lost the game, none of us really felt like we lost because we really took it to Liverpool, and we could have easily got the draw. I think it was at Anfield, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was at Sellers. But yeah, it was a good game, even though we lost. And I just remember, being happy that day despite the loss, because we looked like we had some minerals in the team. Because I feel like, look, here's my point. Yeah, you could put Gabriel Jesus up front on our team. Yeah, the way we were playing before, and he would get no joy the same. Because the way we were playing, yeah, it's like Edouard just had to have his back up against the centre halves, and he ain't gonna have joy. 9 times out of 10, he's gonna get shut down, and the only options are out wide, and he won't find that pass 9 times. It's too hard. It's too difficult for him. So as soon as you put Mateta in the equation, now what we're doing is we're playing to Mateta's strength, because he is a strong guy. He's a big guy. His presence, which is good to have there. And if you notice, both of our strikers, one thing I can say about them is neither of them are scared to put in a tackle. So if you've got both of them now in the final third pressing, we do tend to create more chances. So it also allows other midfielders to bomb forward as well. I don't know if you noticed when Hughes was on as well, with Mateta being up front, Hughes was sort of on the edge of the box all the time. And Schlupp was not doing that when he was on. And I really don't think we need more defence in the midfield if you've got Lerma and Doucouré. I just think it's wasting a man. Better off just starting with someone who's going to get on the edge of the box as well, so we have more creative options in the final third.
No, put that back on. Put that comment back on, please. I'll put it on. Yeah. So, Looney, great point. But L. Anthony, by the way, thanks for tuning in. This comment is a great comment. Not good from Schlupp today, but what he does is defensively cover the space on the left when Mitchell goes forward, and cover the central space when Eze drifts to the left off the bulwark. I'm telling you, that's an excellent point, Errol. And I'm saying the same thing, because Mitchell got forward a lot more today than Ward, because he had that space and didn't have to worry about getting back. And he does cover space. Because if you watch Eze play today, he does drift out to the left a lot of the time, and someone has to cover in the middle. So I know we're not seeing it, and I know people want to kill Schlupp, but you got to give him a little credit, because he does things off the ball we're really not seeing, honestly.
I think, Patrick, with that, I think that's the theory. I get what Errol's saying. Maybe I didn't notice that today, but in previous games, even when I was watching, I didn't really see him being that good off the ball as well.
That's why I'm saying, watch it again. Watch the game again. I'm telling you, you'll see it.
Look, Looney, going into the international break, 7 points from 4 games, a win today at home as well. You have to be pleased with the start of the season so far, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very pleased. I'm not complaining about anything. Yeah, I am pleased. The transfer window could have been better, but then again, it could have been worse. We could have lost players as well, come to think about it. We could have lost Eze, we could have lost Elise, and then we would have been scratching our asses thinking, shit, who are we going to replace them with? And are they going to be as good? So I'm not complaining too much. Yeah, Wolves, to be fair, I expected the win. We should have got the win. We did get the win. And it's at home as well. So as long as we're winning these kind of matches, right? Wolves at home and stuff like this, these kind of bottom half teams, I'm not going to complain.
100.
If we win the occasional match against the top half as well, to add to it, then bonus. That's fine. But as long as we're not losing these games, these are the games where if we start losing, that's when I'll get really pissed off and I'll start getting worried. Because we shouldn't really, innit? Let's be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Look, I'm taking a game at a time. I said it. If we want to achieve something exciting this season, in the right steps towards it, we have to be winning this game. We've got the job done and literally focus on to the next game. But look, really appreciate your time, Looney, bro. Hopefully we catch up with you again soon after the international break.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate. All right. Take care. So before we bring anybody else on, Dee, I just want to say again, all right, for Mateta. Now, you and I have had this running joke for like 2 years about Mateta. And I'm not saying like he's some great player, but all I want the fan base to do is to give him a little bit more respect. I'm not saying he's the answer to our problems, but we love to kill that guy. And I think it's unwarranted. If he had scored like no goals or no big goals, I'd say, you know what, you guys are right. But my only point is he's not as good as Edouard. I've always admitted that. But Mateta deserves respect because he does link up well with Edward, and he does come with big goals, and he does put forth the effort. Yeah, sometimes he falls over the ball, and he's not great. I get all that. But let's stop with the jokes, because that's the only reason I get upset. I don't have a problem with him, and I can criticize him as much as the next person, but we are far too quick to just make fun of this guy on our streams. And again, he's not Thierry Henry. I get that. He's not even Austin Edward, but he can put himself about. He does for Palace at our level. He's not a bad player. All right, I want to say that. Okay. Get that
Okay.
out. Thanks.
Right. We'll talk about Mateta in more detail in our player rating.
We don't have to.
Well.
We don't really have to do that. We just did
gonna
enough.
be exciting to see how much we give him each. But yeah, look, if you want to call into the show, make sure to click on the pinned comment. Let's bring on our next guest and hit the like button, people, and subscribe if you're new here as well. Tim, 3 points at home, 3 goals, 2 goals conceded. That's a bit, but yeah, look, we got a win done. What did you make of it all? Well, you might be talking to him, but you're on mute. You might be saying great things.
Oh no, I'm sorry about that, man. Yeah,
rookie mistake there, Tim. Rookie mistake.
You started slow like Palace. Don't worry.
That's my first half.
Yeah, that's your first half.
All right. No, man, I thought it was great. I loved it. Let me go Team Patrick for a second here, because I want to back what Patrick said about Mateta. Mateta does frustrate me, but Alex said it, and so did Looney. And I think so. That game that they're talking about is Liverpool at Selhurst against Liverpool.
When
that was at home.
Scored, yeah,
right. And if you go back and watch that, this is just to the point you made, Patrick. He comes out. Mateta is driving down the right side, and he brings Allison out. He brings him out, and then just dinks it over to Eddie, and it's an open net. It's an open net. And that was, when I saw that, I knew that he had something to offer us, even though as frustrating as he can be.
And I get that part, trust me.
He can be very frustrating, but he does have things that he offers the team. And I'd also agree that I think we probably need to look a little closer at what Schlepp is doing. But Patrick, I don't think, even if he is offering some defensive cover, I'm not sure that's enough. I'm not sure.
No,
the trade-off.
I agree. I am just saying that we say he does nothing. I'm saying I don't want him on the pitch either. I'm just saying he does offer something, but I think we have better options on the bench. Even our bench is not necessarily that strong. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think the trade-off is too much. I would love it. You said something about could we put Roxaki on the left side? I'm not sure we can. That would be great if we had Roxaki as an option as a left footer. I don't know if he's ever played on the left. And
no, you know what I do to my switch Ayu to the left and put Roxaki on the right.
That's what I would do too. That's what I would do too. But I really did like the link up between Mateta and Eddie. I thought, I think it was Mitch that made the point in the chat that if we play them to start, they might both be gassed at 75 minutes. And that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, boy, the two of them together are, we are clearly showing something when the two of them play together. I'd like to see a little bit more of that, but I want to give a different shout out if I could. I don't know if you saw this in the game, D. Maybe you saw it in the US feed, Patrick, but after the first goal, the first Eddie goal, did you see Gay's reaction? Did you see Mark's reaction?
Actually, I missed that. What did he do?
I'll celebrate myself.
It was amazing. It was amazing. He was all fired up. He's fist pumping. He's screaming. And he was like that. He makes the defensive play towards the end of the game. He ushers, I don't know who it was. Might have been Bueno. I'm not even sure who it was. Ushers it out for a goal kick. He's celebrating. I love Mark Gay. I love Mark Gay. And I thought he had a good game. I'll be curious what you guys say in your player ratings, but I love his energy. And I think it's moments like that where I get why Wardy is club captain, but why I was secretly rooting for Gay to be our club captain. He is that guy. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Tim, I wanted to ask a question that just came to my head now as well.
Sure.
Do you think it's a case of with Edward and Mateta playing together, because of the lack of options that we got, it means that we haven't got any other strikers on the bench? Is that one con to it, like them two playing together? I guess if they play together and it works
Yeah.
out, fantastic. But if it doesn't, then we're ruined. I mean, who else do we have?
Right. And so there's
point.
your
Great point.
there. I mean, there's your depth question there, right? And
Yep.
then if you have that, and one of them, I mean, God forbid, one of them gets injured, then I think you're running Jordan Ayew through the middle. And I mean, I think, look, I mean, Ayew is probably of the three of them, maybe the best at the hold up play. And I mean, his first half was pretty terrible, but like you said, it was bound to happen. But generally, he's pretty good at the hold up play. He's not bad at linking play. But yeah, that's not great. I mean, if one of them gets injured, that's rough for us. I'll be curious to see what we do in the winter window. I do still think we do need a striker. This is a good game. I don't think it papers over the truth that I'm still like I'm waiting to give a full rating on the window until we see how França plays.
Yeah.
But I agree that the depth just isn't there. I mean, that's a really great point, D.
Yeah. So Tim, look, going into the international break, 7 points from 4 games.
Amazing.
Another win from home as well. What have you made to the start of the season so far? You happy with everything? How it's going?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Can you like if I had said to you at the beginning of the season that by the 5th game, not only will we have advanced in the League Cup, but our strikers, who we were all nervous about, would have 7 goals in those first 5 games, you would have said, "Come on. That's no way.
Madness.
No way is that real." And
way.
so for me, I'm delighted. I think look, there's still a lot more to do. And I think the first half exposed some of the weaknesses we have. And somebody else made the point that in that first half, if we'd been playing a more clinical team, we might have been absolutely cut open and go into halftime down 2 or 3-0. So thankfully we were playing Wolves. So that's a fair point as well. But overall, Deep, 1,000,000%. I am delighted. And now, after we come back from the international break, I'll be really curious to see who gets some run of games. I was so happy to see Yuzi back. I know that he played like just scrap minutes, but I love Will Hughes, and I think he offers a lot off the bench. I think he does. If we need defensive cover coming in on that left side, I think Hughes comes in and offers that and offers forward vision. I think he gives us both. I think he gives us a lot more than Schlepp does. Ty, yeah, man. I think there's a lot to be hopeful for. Not excited, but hopeful for. This is a decent start.
Yeah, I think so. Without Elise and France as well. France is hard to say, but based on his potential, like, and missing crazy players, I think it's been a very good start to the season. Considering that Eze was our main creative player. I know Ayes picked it up as well at the start of the season, but yeah, it was pretty not bleak, but there's so many question marks, and so far in the international break, it's all good. And we still got them players to come back. So, yeah. So, overall, massive result from Paddy today. But, look, Tim, really appreciate your time. Have a nice break during the international break. We'll probably be here anyway.
You guys too. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, we'll come back and see how we do against Villa. But up the Palace. Take care, guys.
Up the Palace.
Hey, Tim, enjoy your Labor Day. Take care, buddy.
You too.
Take care. That was Tim having his say on the game. If you want to call in, click on the pinned comment and let's smash the like button, people, as well. I think we're less than 20 away from 100. I know we can get that by the time the next guest comes off. Let's bring on Henry next.
Yes.
Henry?
Hello. Yeah.
Have you got your camera on?
No, camera's not working for some reason, so it's just going to be
okay. All right then. Yeah. No worries. Look, Paddy's 3, Wolves 2, another win at home. You must be pleased. You must be pleased with the result, and especially with the second half performance as well.
Yeah, no, very happy. I thought it was a very important win and a very different performance in the second half than the first half. First half, I thought we were a bit sluggish and lethargic at times and gave the ball away a few too many times. But listen, I can't complain with the 3 points. And I think, my only slight little gripe is I think we could have had a bit more control over the game at 1-0. But having said that, though, we showed great character to go on and win the game after being pegged back. So yeah, I'm just happy with the 3 points and very happy with the link-up play between Edouard and Mateta. I think, when Roy put Mateta on for Schlupp, I think that was a game-changing substitution because up until that point, we didn't look we looked far more threatening when Mateta came onto the pitch and we got that link-up with him and Edouard. So great move there from Roy, for sure.
Yeah, and he's had 2 games now, Brentford as well, with the subs as well. Do you think we're reaching a point where we might see a change to the starting lineup sooner rather than later? Because he hasn't really changed the lineup, but he does make the changes during the game, and I'll be honest, it does work. So clearly, there's a problem there with the starting 11, and the one player I can think about is Schlupp. But for you, do you think he will make the changes going forward now?
I'd like to think that Roy should switch it up now and then when he wants, for certain games. I mean, Wolves at home is a game where I think you're going to look to get those two involved and hurting Wolves because, Wolves are that sort of team that those two can look to be dangerous in. So, yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of them two starting going forward. I think we just look a much better team. Schlupp was... I cannot... I know that what Patrick was saying before about Schlupp, and I sort of get what he means in a way because sometimes he does offer something off the ball. But today, I was watching today, like I actually sort of trapped him in the first half, and for me, he was just a complete passenger because he wasn't getting stuck in. He was literally like dropping back and like just not getting. Just shirking out of challenges and just backing off. And I think, it's really hard to see, as much as I like Roy, and, I don't think Roy is I think he's a very smart manager, but I don't understand why he continues to select him. But that's my only real, issue, really. Apart from that, I can't really complain. I mean, Eze was fantastic as well. You can talk about Eze all day long if you want to, because he was fantastic.
100%. Eze is fantastic. Wardy was good. Mitchell got in the six as well today. So all around, it was good in that aspect. But Henry, look, going into the international break, I've asked everyone this as well. It's good steps in the right direction, right? Because even
it is.
From Triton, I believe, good start to the season. We are not even playing our best side yet. That's what he thinks, especially with Elise out injured.
Yeah, true. I think Elise would have been a big threat today, but I mean, I'm very happy with the start of the season. I don't think we could really ask for much more, to be honest. I think we got a little bit unlucky in that Arsenal game, but I mean, 7 points from 4 games, we ought to have taken that. But I just want to touch on Edouard quickly because he was really clinical today. That first goal, it's not an easy finish. Going in on the near post and taking it really, really confidently. And the second goal, he was really composed in front of goal. And I just think if we can keep giving Mateta and Edouard that opportunity to link with each other, we could really see the best out of them. And Mateta as well, you can't fault the guy. He came on, brilliant assist for Eze. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I don't really know what more to say than that. Really, we're looking good right now. The only problem is with the Schlupp thing and with our squad depth, but we can't do anything about that now. The window's shut, so let's I just think we should enjoy the international break and hopefully we can do okay against Aston Villa, but that's going to be very tough. But that's why it was very important to win today. So yeah.
Look, Henry, thank you for coming on to the show. It was a pleasure talking to you, bro.
Thank you. You too.
Take care. See you later. We're about less than 10 likes away from 100 people. Let's see if we can smash that in the next 10 minutes. Let's bring on the next guest, Patrick. Patrick, Roy's #1 fan. Got the job done today, 3 points, and he made some very good subs in the second half. That changed the game.
I think clearly having Roy at the helm with this club is the best thing for it. 7 points in 4 games, considering the behind the scenes lack of transfer activity, in my opinion. Can't ask for anything better. I don't think we played that well today by any stretch of the imagination. We couldn't string any passes together. Awful, but 2 Mateta coming in because they both play better in them in a 2 common. Watch the feed on Peacock here. And
can you hear us still, Patrick?
Can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it was just jumping a bit. Yeah, it's just jumping a bit. Yeah.
Cell phone. But a mistake that Wolves made there. They said it on Peacock. The manager Gary Hill took off Lamina and put him into a back 3. They were man marking Eze the whole day. Once he did that, Mateta's on 2 of the center backs, freed up the middle, and we got the win. Sometimes you don't have to play your best game. So I'm happy. I got no complaint. Schultz. Like a couple years ago, we were beating up IU. Like, if there was a better option, a complete option that we had currently on the roster or was healthy, Schultz. So I'm not going to get on what he does and doesn't do. We got the win. Roy's taking them off 2 games in a row. We can't. They won. I'm happy. And usually I have more, but that's really it, guys.
Yeah, you was cutting out, but we managed to catch a bit of that as well. But yeah, overall, you're happy, we're happy, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon after the international break, Patrick.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
All right, take care. Thank you for calling in. That was Patrick having his say on the game. As always, if you're enjoying it, hit the like button, people. Let's get over 100 likes. I will check in a minute. We'll see where we're at. But look, everyone's happy, Patrick, so far. We'll bring on Chris in just a second. And it's good time to look, the negativity after the window closed because we haven't brought in a striker. It was a bit, it was a bit annoying, especially even I was, corporate of it as well because we wanted to push on, especially up front. But when you have your strikers getting goals, scoring, creating goals, scoring goals, then you can't really complain about it, can you? So it's good to see what people are thinking.
Yeah, I wasn't that bothered by the window from the striker standpoint because we focused on that one player, Etiquette, and we didn't get him. But that's how we've kind of always been in window. But I said that before. I told it we did many streams during the transfer. The striker I wanted was Balogun, and we weren't going to spend that money. And it's hard to spend that money or spend money on a striker and get it right. Last time we spent a lot of money on a striker was Edward, and right now he's coming good, but it's been like it's the 3rd year. It's hard, so I can't. I want to kill the board over lack of a striker, but I just know that I'm not sure we actually had one lined up. You talk about Nacho and Che Adams, etc. But Nacho maybe Che Adams wasn't an upgrade on what we have already. It was just another body. You know what I mean? It wasn't an upgrade. So I get people getting upset about the striker situation. I was more concerned about getting a wide player, which we didn't get. So and not but it is what it is.
Yeah. Let's bring on the next guest of the afternoon, and that is Chris. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourselves?
Yeah, we're good. 3 points.
Good,
of course, the 2 goals conceded. We're not going to talk about that much. We spoke about it. Maybe could have done better in the air, but overall, look, first half I thought wasn't good enough. Second half we bounced back, and the subs made a difference. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good start to the season. I think, as you say, everyone's in agreement. We're not getting carried away. If we get the results against teams like the kind of Villa or Fulham, I was going to say Brentford, but we got the point there. But that kind of bracket, and then we start getting wins and points off them this season, that hopefully makes a difference. And a few things have gone for us, like Sheffield United didn't get their dealings done in time, and Brentford didn't have me. And I think we're playing Wolves at a good time. They're in a bit of disarray. O'Neill's just come in and probably not got it quite right. I think he's probably got a tougher job there than he had at Bournemouth last year. It's marginal. I think Wolves are pretty poor. So we had to get the win today. It was a little bit boring at times, but we were probably the better team, I think.
Yeah, I agree. So in terms of the subs. Everyone spoke about Mateta and Edward. Let's talk about the midfield a bit as well, because Lerma, Doucouré, what did you make of them two today? Especially in first half, I thought they were a bit sloppy. Maybe Doucouré, he was a bit better in the second half as well. Look, they're not meant to have like a 9 out of 10 every single game, because that's unrealistic expectations. But I found that interesting, because I thought that, both of them two today, especially our midfield, will be able to beat their midfield, which we kind of did do, but it wasn't as comfortable as I expected going into the game.
No, I think maybe Lerma needs a bit of rotation. Maybe in that Plymouth game when we were 4-2 up, you could have taken him off and put someone else on. But I don't think Hughes was on the bench against Plymouth, but you could really put Wells Morrison on, which was a bit of a pressure situation for him. But he probably needs a breather, and Doucouré from last year might be fatigued. But we have a few players like that in that bracket. Mitchell, there's no option to replace them, so they're just going to get gradually more knackered, and it will affect their performance. But we still have a very sturdy midfield. Eze, he's kind of just got to grips with being the main man on his own, just when we hopefully going to get França or Elise involved. And again, he's been doing it against relatively championship level teams. But he has it in him, I think, to not quite be at the same level as Madison is at the moment, but he has it in him to start making an impact again at those mid-range teams that I was discussing. I think, especially when he's got someone else like Elise distracting defenders too. But as for Doucouré and Lerma, they still do their job. They're not quite at the top level we expect from them, but we got those points taken over a couple of weeks. I don't think they're going abroad for international duty. I didn't even check that, was you, but hopefully they get a bit of a breather now.
Yeah. Patrick, I know you got some comments from Roy post-match. Would you like to read out now?
Yeah, sure. So he spoke to Sky Sports after the match. It's been a good afternoon because we won. It wouldn't have been a good afternoon had we not, because I think a lot of things we didn't do today weren't things we wanted to see from the team. I thought Wolves were very good, so I think that we were depending on those 3 very good goals and a much better second half performance. To some extent, the fact we conceded in the 96th minute summed it up a little bit how we were today. We were nowhere near what we'd like to be or think we're capable of being. But on the other hand, to win matches and get 3 points is such a difficult thing to do in the Premier League, and you should never be too critical. You should rejoice in your victories because there'll only be other games where we play better than this and deserve to win clearly. But we lose. So I'd much rather this than the 1-0 defeat against Arsenal. Good point, by the way. 3 very good goals were enough to get us the 3 points. Hodgson on Edward, who scored the third and fourth goals. Sorry, third and fourth goals of the season. He's very technical. When one talks about good old-fashioned centre forwards, one thinks about people who are very strong and hold the ball up well. Bully centre halves a little bit and win a lot of headers. That's not the way he is. He's got a very clever movement and a great technical ability. What we're getting from him is a little bit of that old-fashioned stuff, as well as because we need that for the focus of our attacking play. He's been very good since the start of the season, and I was delighted that he had 2 goals today. And on Eze, he said, he is rightly an important player for us. Hopefully, he will be a good player for England going forward as well, because he does have exceptional talent, and in the second half, we saw much more of that talent. He got on the ball a lot more, he got into dangerous positions, and he did then what he's capable of doing, making life very difficult for the opposition. I was delighted for him that he played so well in the second half, and even more delighted he got his first goal. A lot of praise there for Edward and for Eze, which is nice.
Yeah, Chris, what do you make of Roy's post-match? I literally agreed with everything, what he said, personally anyways.
Pretty good. It's nice to start. I'm agreeing him more in this spell than I did in his last spell with us with Roy.
Yeah. I mean, last spell was
talking about the England squad. I was going to ask you two about Johnston. Is he doing enough to keep his place? Is he showing you worries? I think his distribution is awesome, but again, it's like I don't know how much of it is down to him and his crosses that we keep letting in goals from crosses. We're not even near the men half the time, and how much it could be him not quite bossing the box. I do like him though.
It's a good point. I actually think Henderson's going to be able to push him to places he hasn't been before as far as a goalkeeper. And I think that if he doesn't play well, he's going to lose his spot. So I love the fact we brought Henderson. I know people are complaining about the fee and the wages. I get that. But arguably, Henderson's the best backup we've ever had. Johnson was probably the best one before him. And I think that having him in the squad is going to really elevate our goalkeeping to another level. And Johnson being in England squad is good for him, but he needs to keep up the performances to keep that, keep him playing in the England squad and playing for Palace. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, if you move away the fee and the lack of striker, I don't think many people will be complaining about Dean Henderson. The frustration with Dean Henderson was not Dean Henderson himself. Well, for many anyways, I think it was the fact that we could have used that money elsewhere potentially. Did we need to spend that much on a backup goalie? I think personally that in the future, I think Dean Henderson will be our number one. I think Dougie didn't pay this much money for Dean Henderson to be number two. So I think he rates him to that level. He's younger than Sam Johnson as well. He's had England appearances. So he's England international. He's had, Premier League experience. So I think Dean Henderson in the future, I don't know when, I can't answer you that, will be number one. So look, Sam Johnson is getting selected for England now, but then I think if Dean Henderson start playing, it's going to be him. So it's literally whoever plays for Palace, they'll be in the England squad. That's how I see it.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Pickford and Pope having wobbles, so I rate them both, but it might be a good time for one of them to get state their claim.
Yeah. So, what do you think of our start to the season going into the international break? You can't really be upset with it. Look, through to the next round of the cup. Strikers are scoring, which is good. Getting assists as well. Eze's on form. They're getting called up to England squad. Have you been surprised by the start? Or did you expect a bit more of a difficult start without Elise?
No, we're doing okay. Yeah, I think it's a good return from how we played and who we've played. It's a little frustrating that maybe another 10 minutes against Arsenal and Brentford, we might have got another goal to make a difference in the result. But I don't know, again, like that point that was made earlier, I don't know what it's about the first half, because if we go out there and actually just put a goal away or two in the first half, it completely changes it. I don't know what it is about our psyche that can't do it. So if we can nail that as well, that obviously gets further up the table. But no, I can't have any complaints. I know that we're all like moaning about Schlupp, and also I've got to agree with most of the moans. I don't understand. I know he came to pre-season a bit late, but he should be up to speed by now. And I don't know if this is all he offers, or he doesn't actually know what his role is. It's hard to work out, but maybe when Hughes is back to fitness, or we tweak it a bit with Elise and other people, we won't see so much of Schlupp. But I also try and think, like, am I missing something? Let me just focus on him for 10, 15 minutes, but nothing. He never seems to do much.
Yeah. Look, Raksaki was the main talking. Well, people wanted Raksaki on. Roy brought on Mateta, and it worked out. We got 3 points. We're going into the international break happy. We're heading in the right direction, I think. And we still got Elise to come back, which is going to be great. Remember, 11 assists last season. Great link-up play with Eze as well. So as long as we start picking up these points, Elise has more time to recover now, and hopefully bring him in, and we should improve overall. Our depth should improve as well, our quality. So with me and Franca, like we don't really, we talk about him, but we haven't even seen him play. We'll see what he can offer as well. So all around, I'm very happy. If you got a point against Arsenal, I think it would have been a 10 out of 10 start in terms of what I expected. I know Brentford away, we didn't beat them, but I would have, I'm happy with the point. At Wolves, I'm happy with the 3 points. So with what I expected from games this season, the only downside is Arsenal, and we were very close to that. So I'll take that as well. Look, Chris, thank you for coming on to the show. Hopefully we'll catch up with you again after the international break.
Yeah, thanks for the show, lads. Take care. Have a good Sunday.
Take care, Chris. Thank you.
Take care, mate.
Okay, we're going to slowly wrap up, people, go through some of the comments. And if you want to call in the last few minutes, click on the pinned comment to join us live. And let's smash the like button, people. I know we hit over 100 already, so thank you to every single one of you. Let's see if we can reach 125, 150 after the show ends as well. Damo says, get in. Mateta moves like a freight train, but it works against some teams. You know the thing about Mateta as well? Look, I've been highly critical. I thought that, we can still have that debate whether he's back or not, but he's had two very good games. I thought that, at times he just doesn't offer much apart from scoring goals. And today he got the 2 assists, Patrick. He got the 2 assists. And not only that, with Edouard as well, start of the season, we are seeing him being a bit more confident on the ball, even without front of goal. Look, the first goal was fantastic for Edouard. Some people may talk about the second goal because of the link-up play between Edouard and Mateta, but the first goal running onto the front post to finish that chance, fantastic movement, which we haven't really seen before. What exactly is it then? Like, I know it's hard to say, but can Mateta also play a vital role going forward? Because in the past, yes, I've been critical of him, but even in the past when he has scored goals, Roy hasn't played him as much. And I'm talking about his last year as a Palace manager. where he didn't play him as much. Do you think now he could have a bit more of a role because he's actually proven himself? I don't understand why Mateta wouldn't play because he's got a hat trick last game, 2 assists this game, and he looked fantastic.
Before I do that, I actually want to read Eze's comments about Edward and Mateta because I think they're very good. So after the game, Eze said, "You can see how good he is." About talking about Edward, you can see he can finish and he's got goals in him. We're not worried about the goals. We know we can create chances. It's just about putting it in every single game and putting in the work. We knew we're working on it, so we're not worried. On his goal, past his second of the match, Eze said, "I saw JP get behind them, and I knew what I had to do. In those areas, you get as much on it as you can, and to put it in the corner, it was perfect. He, Mateta, told me he did it, flicked the ball off his back on purpose. So respect to him. We wanted to put in a good performance for the fans. We showed that today. What we're capable of, and playing at home, it's a fortress, so we know we can do it." So as far as Mateta, it's nice to see Eze, giving him compliments, and Edward also for the performance today. But I think right now, like I said, I think it's a formation issue. I don't think, again, you've said before, I don't think you can play Mateta and Edward at the same time. It's not going to work. Like you said, we don't have any options off the bench. If we have Edward and Mateta not playing well, who comes on off the bench to score a goal? No one, or set up a goal, right? So that's not going to work. The only way it would work is if you want to move Edward out wide, but why would you do that when he's scoring goals? So I think right now it's okay to leave it as is. Let Mateta get some minutes. Listen, if Edward falls off forward, you can start Mateta. I feel comfortable with that. But right now, you got to keep Edward in the lineup, obviously, right? Maybe in the cup game against United, you start Mateta, give him a game or two here and there. He hasn't started all season. Why Roy doesn't rate him, I don't know. I think now, though, Roy's starting to change his mind a little bit on him. One, we didn't bring a striker in. Two, he's playing him a little bit more. He started him against Plymouth. He scored a hat trick. Played Bournemouth today. Bournemouth against Brentford. So hopefully his mindset's changing. I don't know why he never rated him. I know he's not a great striker, but he's not terrible. And he just got a goal against Brighton for Roy, and then after that he didn't play. So again, I've seen changes in Roy as far as where he looks at certain players and certain things. So hopefully his mindset can change. I'll say it again, with Schlupp. We can go back to him for the last time. Read up his comments. Roy loves Jeffrey Schlupp. He just does. So to think he's not going to play him is madness. He's going to play him, barring again, Olise and France are coming back and just lighting it up and saying, "Oh, they've got to play." Honestly, guys, Schlupp's going to play. It might be for Lermo once in a while. It might be out wide, but Schlupp's going to play because Roy really rates him. And if the manager rate a play, you're going to play him. That's all. Yeah. Only thing,
And last bit on Mateta, I know we'll talk about in player ratings, people, so make sure to check that out. Probably posted in about 3 hours' time. When he comes on, the energy he has with the fans is and also look, he's you'll see him in December. Well, if he comes on, if he's playing still, but like he ups the fans, and also like there's no, funny. I don't sense that Edward and Mateta have that fierce rivalry. I think they want to push each other. No, even when Edward was coming off the pitch today, Mateta was pointing at Edward and clapping him off the pitch, and he's basically saying to the fans like clapping him louder. So that's good. Like They've got that assist today, and it seems like they have a connection on and off the pitch. Now, it's not really on them. It's more about us, whether we have the depth to play both of them together. Because as you said, one injury can ruin a lot of things, and also if they don't play well together, I guess, Patrick, if they don't play well together, that means that we can revert to having one striker. You get it? So maybe we can still play both of them, start both of them together. And then if it doesn't work, we can have a bit more of a crazy player out on the pitch rather than having two strikers. Because more than likely, if it's not working, then they're not having the service. So look, I think overall I was very pleased with the result today. As you know, Patrick, I know you want better performances at times. But for me, it's all about results. It's all about results because I know that come end of the season, these type of games will matter. We can't just take these games lightly. We can't say, "Oh, it's only Wolves at home. It's fine. Let's have a point." We can't say it's Brentford away. We can lose because at end of the season, when it's 1 or 2 points and tight margins, then it will be these games. So for me, start of the season has been absolutely fantastic. Going into the international break, I've said it before, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 or maybe 9 out of 10, depending on, like 8 or 9 out of 10. The only downside really is Arsenal, not getting a point against Arsenal. And that's not a major downside because we wasn't expecting that. I know you was expecting it, but I want us to be in the fold, not just for top 10. I want us to be in the fold with the teams that are above us. I don't want us to come towards the end of the season, like last season, and talk about 11th, talk about 12th. in every match preview, are we going to be 11th? Are we going to be 12th? Are we going to be 11th? Are we going to be 12th? I want us to actually be involved. I want us to actually try to achieve something. Yeah, but you can't look too far ahead. That's why I have the mentality of a game at a time. We won this game. We go to the international break. And against Aston Villa, I'll be honest, and of course, it's not the match preview and we've got a break, I'll be happy with a point away from home. I would. That should be the bare minimum, at least, for us to, be in that fold. I don't want us to drop off. I just want us to pick up points here and there and always be with the teams that are above us to as far as we can bring it out to be. That's what makes it exciting, right? Patrick, even with you, I know the performances matter, but before we go, you would want us to be involved looking up the table rather than down with the teams, that are above us. And as long as we pick up these points, I know it's still 4 games. I guess after 10 games, we'll be able to see where we're at. That will be ideal because you don't want us to have a boring season where the season's over but come January or March.
No, 100%. I mean, I definitely want better performances, but I'll take the points. It's just that, like I said, I just thought against Arsenal, again, just to somewhat correct you, I didn't expect points from Arsenal, but I don't like the fact you go in there thinking that, it's Arsenal, we can't get anything out of it type thing, and then play like we gave possession up to them 8% to 20% in the first, 15, 20 minutes, and then be up a man and not be able to get a point. That's all my disappointment. Again, I know they're Arsenal. I know they're going to be challenging for the league title, and we're not close to being there yet. But you're right. Teams like Wolves, you got to take points off of, no doubt. Both home and away, you got to be able to get points off of Wolves because they're going to be a middling to struggling team this season. They just are. New manager, sold their best player recently to Man City, that kind of thing. So, no, listen, the 7 points I'm happy with. But again, I just want to see something a little different tactically going forward. I'm trying to figure out how we're trying to play. I think the way we're playing now, the 4-2-3-1, doesn't really work for me. But I get it. Not having the wide players that we don't, that are injured right now. I feel the need, and I do. Again, I've given Roy credit. I'll give credit one more time. I do like the fact that once we are struggling, he makes the sub. You keep saying sub, right? The sub today was only the one sub. Who's later didn't make an effect, but it makes the sub before it's been the subs that have made the difference. And that's all you can ask for. As long as that happens and we go on to win the games, I'll be happy, no doubt.
Exactly. But look, people, we're going to wrap up now. We'll be back for the player ratings later on. It should be later on today, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled on that and subscribe if you haven't already done so, because if you're subscribed, you're more than likely not to miss out on it. Turn on the notification bell, and if you have enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button. Thank you to every single one of you who's joined us live, letting us know in the comment section how you feel about the game. I know everyone that joined us by clicking on the pinned comment and calling into the show as well. Thank you to Patrick. Thank you to Sergeant for the super chat as well. Look, this is it until the international break. Of course, we'll be back next week talking about something related to Palace. But that's it from me and Patrick. And until next time, up the Palace.